Sony Xperia Z5 Teardown and Reassemble Guide.
Warning: you are performing this repair at your own risk. We claim no responsibility for any damages that might occur. To perform this DIY repair, you will need plastic triangle opening tool, nylon spudger, SIM card ejection tool, fine tip curved tweezers, precision knife set, multi-purpose heat gun, premium 2mm red adhesive roll, professional Phillips screwdriver, playing cards. Power down your Sony Xperia Z5 phone. Eject a nano SIM card tray. The Sony Xperia Z5 rear panel is glued on solidly and is a tight fit within the frame. Apply heat to soften the adhesive. With the precision knife, create enough space to insert a triangle opening tool. Use triangle opening tools to slice through the adhesive and help carefully separate the rear panel from the Sony Xperia Z5 frame. Apply additional heat as needed. Use the spudger to detach the Xperia Z5 battery connection from the motherboard. Grab the end of the first adhesive strip and try to keep the strip flat and wide. Slowly and gently pull each strip up and away from the Sony phone. The strips will stretch to many times the length of the battery. Keep pulling until they come out from between the battery and the frame. Remove the Sony Xperia Z5 lithium-ion 2900 mAh battery. Detach the Sony Xperia Z5 power and volume buttons cable from the motherboard. Disconnect the 23 megapixel Sony Xperia rear-facing camera and carefully pry it up and out of the phone. Detach the Sony Xperia Z5 headphone jack and front-facing camera cables from the motherboard. Remove the following two Phillips screws and black plastic cover. Remove the following Phillips screw and then the protective plastic bracket. With the bracket out of the way, detach the 5.1 megapixel Sony Xperia Z5 front-facing selfie camera and remove it from the smartphone. Remove the following two Phillips screws. Using the spudger, pry up the Sony Xperia Z5 loudspeaker and vibrator. Do not remove them completely, as they are attached to the power and volume buttons cable. Disconnect the micro USB port. primary microphone, and display assembly cables from the bottom of the Sony Xperia Z5 motherboard. Use the nylon spudger to carefully pry up and remove the motherboard from the Sony phone. With the spudger, gently pry up and remove the Xperia Z5 earpiece speaker. Remove the plastic cover securing the headphone jack in place. Pry the Sony Xperia Z5 headphone jack up and out of the phone. Peel up the two pieces of tape. Use a spudger to carefully pry the Sony Xperia Z5 power, volume, and shutter release buttons cable assembly away from the frame. With the tweezers, pry the vibrator motor up and out of its housing, and then remove the protective metal bracket. Utilizing the spudger, peel up the portion of the cable that is over the loudspeaker. The power, volume, and shutter release buttons cable and vibrator assembly should now be separated from the Sony Xperia Z5 loudspeaker. Use the spudger to gently pry up and remove the Sony Xperia Z5 microUSB port. Utilizing the tweezers, remove the protective plastic cover and then the primary microphone. Remove the metal bracket. Using the heat gun, warm up the adhesive securing the display assembly to the frame. With the precision knife, create enough space between the Sony Xperia Z5 display assembly and frame to slip in a playing card. Use the playing cards to slice through the adhesive and carefully separate the screen from the frame. Apply additional heat as needed. When the screen and frame are almost separated, turn over the Sony Xperia Z5. Use the tweezers to peel up the black tape securing the display assembly cable to the frame. And then detach the digitizer cable. Feed the display assembly cables through the Sony Xperia Z5 frame.
All the replacement parts and repair tools used in this video are available at www.DIYMobileRepair.com.
Make sure to take a look at our other DIY smartphone and tablet repair tutorials. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.